Okay. All right, it looks like we are now live on YouTube. So welcome everyone. I'm Paul Sugarman of the Instant Shakespeare Company. And tonight we have a special presentation from the Shaw Project presenting Victorian Holiday Fun. So I'll turn it over to David Cedar to introduce it and get things started.
Good evening. I'm David Cedar, the artistic director of the Shaw Project. We're going to do something a little different tonight and do 3 plays, only one of which is by Shaw, the first one. The second one will be by John Madison Morton, who was the king of Victorian one-act farce. And the third one will be by, appropriately for Christmas, Charles Dickens, although it's not a Christmas piece. I'm going to introduce the cast, let the cast introduce themselves. There's no point, we're all playing multiple parts, so you can just wait to find out who we're playing. Christina.
I'm Christina Osterling.
And Paula.
I'm Paula Hosa.
Drew.
I'm Drew Bolander.
And Ben. Ben, where'd you go? Hello, Ben.
I had to run and get a prop. Hi, I'm Bennett Pology.
And Leah.
I'm Leah Schwartz.
And Clinton.
Hi, I'm Clinton Powell.
Is that everybody? Did I miss any? Oh, Christina, did I miss you?
I went first.
You went first. Never mind. Okay. All right. Our first play is by Shaw. It is what he called one of his tomfooleries, and it is entitled Passion, Poison, and Petrifaction. Here we go. I'll be narrator for this. In a bed-sitting room in a fashionable quarter of London, a lady sits at her dressing table with her maid combing her hair. It is late, and the electric lamps are glowing. Apparently, the room is bedless, but there stands against the opposite wall to that at which the dressing table is placed, a piece of furniture that suggests a bookcase without carrying conviction. On the same side is a chest of drawers of that disastrous kind which, recalcitrant to the opener until she is provoked to violence, then suddenly come wholly out and defy all her efforts to fit them in again. Opposite this chest of drawers, on the lady's side of the room, is a cupboard. The presence of a row of gentlemen's boots beside the chest of drawers proclaims that the lady is married. Her own boots are beside the cupboard. A third wall is pierced midway by the door, above which is a cuckoo clock. Near the door, a pedestal bears a portrait bust of the lady in plaster. There is a fan on the dressing table, a hat box and rug strap on the chest of drawers, an umbrella and a boot jack against the wall near the bed. The general impression is one of brightness, beauty, and social ambition, damped somewhat by inadequate means. Not a sound is heard, except the overture, and the crackling of the lady's hair as the maid's brush draws electric sparks from it in the dry air of the London midsummer. The cuckoo clock strikes 16.
How much did the clock strike, Phyllis?
16, my lady.
That means 11 o'clock, does it not?
11 at night, my lady. In the morning means 2:30. So if you hear it strike 16 during your slumbers, do not rise.
I will not, Phyllis. Phyllis, I am weary. I will go to bed. Prepare my couch.
Phyllis crosses the room to the bookcase and touches a button. The front of the bookcase falls out with a crash and becomes a bed. A roll of distant thunder echoes the crash.
It's a terrible night. Heaven help all the poor mariners at sea. Oh, my master is late. I trust nothing has happened to him. Your bed is ready, my lady.
Oh, thank you, Phyllis. Good night.
But your ladyship not undress.
Not tonight, Phyllis. Not under the circumstances.
Oh, my beloved mistress, I know not why or how, but I feel that I shall never see you alive again. There is murder in the air. Thunder! Oh, hark!
Oh, strange. As I sat there, methought I heard angels singing, "Oh, won't you come home, Bill Bailey?" Now, why should angels call me Bill Bailey? My name is Magnesia Fitztoymarsh.
Lady Magnesia Fitztoymarsh.
In case we should never meet again in this world, let us take a last farewell.
My poor murdered angel mistress.
Well, in case we should meet again, call me at 11:30.
I will.
Phyllis withdraws, overcome by emotion. Lady Magnesia switches off the electric light and immediately hears the angels quite distinctly. Won't you come home, Bill Bailey? Won't you come home? A white radiance plays on her pillow and lights up her beautiful face. But the thunder growls again, and a lurid red glow concentrates itself on the door, which is presently flung open, revealing a saturnine figure in evening dress, partially concealed by a crimson cloak. As he steals towards the bed, the unnatural glare in his eyes and the broad-bladed dagger nervously gripped in his right hand bode ill for the sleeping lady. Providentially, she sneezes. On the very brink of eternity, and the tension of the murderer's nerves is such that he bolts precipitately under the bed, and at the sudden and startling sneeze, a dull, heavy, rhythmic thumping, the beating of his heart, betrays his whereabouts. Soon he emerges cautiously and raises his head above the bed-coverlet level.
I can no longer cower here, listening to the agonized thumpings of my own heart. She but snores in her sleep. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Won't you come home, Bill Bailey?
Oh,
Has that tune reached heaven?
my husband. Why do you change colour, and what on earth are you doing with that dagger?
Yeah. Present for you. Present from Mother. Pretty, isn't it?
Oh, but she promised me a fish slice.
Well, this is a combination, fish slice and dagger. One day you have salmon for dinner, you see, and the next you have a murder to commit. You see?
My sweet mother-in-law. Oh, that's Adolphus's knock. What has happened to your complexion? You've turned green. Now I think of it, you always do when Adolphus is mentioned. Are you going to let him in?
Certainly not. Adolphus, you cannot enter. My wife is undressed and in bed.
I am not. Come in, Adolphus.
Something most important has happened. I must come in for a moment.
Something important happened? What is it?
My new clothes have come.
He says his new clothes have come.
Well, come in. Come in. Let me see.
Adolphus Bastable enters. He is in evening dress, made in the latest fashion, with the right half of the coat and the left half of the trousers yellow, and the other halves black. His silver-spangled waistcoat has a crimson handkerchief stuck between it and his shirt front.
What do you think of it?
Oh, it is a dream, a creation.
I shall never be mistaken for a waiter again.
A drink, Adolphus?
Thanks.
Fitztoymarsh goes to the cupboard and takes out a tray with tumblers and a bottle of whiskey. He puts them on the dressing table.
Is the gazogene full?
Yes, you put in the powders yourself today.
So I did, yes, the special powders.
Your complexion is really going to pieces. Why do you laugh in that silly way at nothing?
Nothing.
I hope, Mr. Fitztoymarsh, you are not laughing at my clothes. I warn you, that I am an Englishman. You may laugh at my manners, at my brains, at my national institutions. But if you laugh at my clothes, one of us must die.
Thunder.
I laughed, but at the irony of fate.
Oh, that, yes, of course.
Let us drown all unkindness in a loving cup.
Puts the gasoline on the floor in the middle of the room.
Pardon the absence of a table. We found it in the way and pawned it.
We picnic at home now. It's delightful.
She takes 3 tumblers from the dressing table and sits on the floor, presiding over the gasogene, with Fitz and Adolphus squatting on her left and right, respectively. Fitz pours whiskey into the tumblers.
Stay. No soda for me. Let Adolphus have it all. I'll take mine neat.
Pledge me, Adolphus.
Kiss the cup, Magnesia. Pledge her, man. Drink deep.
To Magnesia.
To Magnesia. It is done. Adolphus, you have but 10 minutes to live, if so long.
What do you mean?
My mind misgives me. I have a strange feeling. Here.
So have I, but lower down. That gasogene is disagreeing with me.
It was poisoned.
Help! Police!
Dastard, you would appeal to the law? Can you not die like a gentleman?
But so young. I've only worn my new clothes once.
It is too horrible. Fiend, what drove you to this wicked deed?
Jealousy. You admired his clothes. You did not admire mine.
My clothes? Have I indeed been found worthy to be the first clothes martyr? Welcome, death. Hark, I hear the angels call me.
Won't you come home, Bill Bailey? Won't you come home, Bill Bailey? Won't you come home?
Oh, the gasogene is disagreeing extremely. Oh.
Oh, monster, what have you done? That was once a man, beautiful and glorious. What have you made of it? A writhing, agonized, miserable, moribund worm.
Oh, I say, come, no, look here, Magnesia, really.
Oh, is this the time for petty vanity? Think of your misspent life.
Whose misspent life?
Look into your conscience. Look into your stomach.
Oh.
And this is your handiwork.
Mine is a passionate nature, Magnesia. I must have your undivided love. I must have your love. Do you hear? Love, 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 love.
You shall have it.
Magnesia, I have recovered your love. Oh, how slight appears the sacrifice of this man compared with so glorious a reward. I would poison 10 men without a thought of self to gain 1 smile from you.
Farewell, Magnesia. My last hour is at hand. Farewell, farewell, farewell.
At this supreme moment, George Fitztolomash, I solemnly dedicate to you all that I formerly dedicated to poor Adolphus.
Oh, please don't poor Adolphus yet. I'm still alive, you know.
But a vital spark but flashes before it vanishes. And now, Adolphus, take this last comfort from the unhappy Magnesia Fitztolomash. As I have dedicated to George all that I gave to you, so I will bury in your grave, or in your urn if you are cremated, all that I gave to him.
I hardly follow this.
I will explain. George, hitherto I have given Adolphus all the romance in my nature, all my love, all my dreams, all my caresses. Henceforth they are yours.
Angel.
Adolphus, forgive me if this pains you.
Don't mention it. I hardly feel it. The gasogene is so much worse. Oh!
Peace, poor sufferer. There is still some balm. You are about to hear what I am going to dedicate to you.
All I ask is a peppermint lozenge for mercy's sake.
I have something far better than any lozenge. The devotion of a lifetime. Formerly it was George's. I kept his house, or rather his lodgings. I mended his clothes, I darned his socks, I bought his food, I interviewed his creditors, I stood between him and the servants, I administered his domestic finances. When his hair needed cutting or his countenance was imperfectly washed, I pointed it out to him. The trouble that all this gave me made him prosaic in my eyes. Familiarity bred contempt. Now all that shall end. My husband shall be my hero, my lover, my perfect knight. He shall shield me from all care and trouble. He shall ask nothing in return but love, boundless, priceless, rapturous, soul-enthralling love, 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 love. And the duties I formerly discharged shall be replaced by the one supreme duty of duties, the duty of weeping at Adolphus's tomb.
My Ernest, this sacrifice makes me feel that I have perhaps been a little selfish. I cannot help feeling that there is much to be said for the old arrangement. Why should Adolphus die for my sake?
I am not dying for your sake, Fitz. I'm dying because you poisoned me.
You do not fear to die, Adolphus, do you?
No, I don't exactly fear to die. Still,
if an antidote.
Antidote?
Antidote?
If an antidote would not be too much of an anticlimax.
Anticlimax be blowed. Do you think I am going to die to please the critics? Out with your antidote, quick.
The best antidote to the poison I have given you is lime. Plenty of lime.
Lime? You mock me. Do you think I carry lime about in my pockets?
There is the plaster ceiling.
Yes, the ceiling. Saved. Oh.
All three frantically shy boots at the ceiling. Flakes of plaster rain down, which Adolphus devours, at first ravenously, then with a marked falling off in relish.
Oh, take this, Adolphus. It is the largest.
Ah, a lump off the cornice. Try this.
Stop!
Oh, do not stop. You will die.
I prefer death.
Oh, for our sakes, Adolphus.
Persevere.
No! Unless you can supply lime in liquid form, I shall perish. Finish that ceiling. I cannot and will not.
Oh, I have a thought. An inspiration. My bust.
She snatches it from the pedestal and brings it to him.
Can I resist it?
Try it with a bun.
No, I cannot. Not even your bust, Magnesia. Don't ask me. Let me die.
Force yourself to take a mouthful. Down with it, Adolphus.
Oh, useless. It won't stay down. Water, some fluid. Ring for some drink.
I will save you.
Rushes to the bell and rings. Phyllis, in a nightgown with her hair prettily made up into a chevaux de frise of crocuses with pink and yellow curl papers, rushes in straight to Magnesia.
Oh, my beloved mistress, once more we meet. Oh, a man! Oh, men!
Cries,
Oh,
but Ptolemy seizes her by the nightgown just as she is escaping.
help me, villain!
This is no time for prudery, girl. Mr. Bastable is dying.
Indeed, sir. I hope he will not think it unfeeling of me to appear at his deathbed in curl papers.
We know you have a good heart, Phyllis. Take this bust, dissolve it in a jug of hot water, and bring it back instantly. Mr. Bastable's life depends on your haste.
It do seem a pity, don't it, my lady, to spoil your lovely bust?
Hush, this craze for fine art is beyond all bounds. Off with you. Drink, drink, drink. My entrails are parched. Drink.
He rushes deliriously to the gazogene.
Madman, you forget it's poisoned.
I don't care. Drink, drink.
They wrestle madly for the gasogene. In the struggle, they squirt all its contents away, mostly into one another's face. Adolphus at last flings Ptolemaeus to the floor and puts the spout into his mouth.
Empty. Empty.
Magnesia, I have always pretended not to notice it, but you keep a siphon for your private use in my hatbox.
I use it for washing old lace, but no matter. He shall have it.
Oh, thanks, thanks.
As he drinks, a terrific fizzing is heard.
Help! Help, the ceiling is effervescing. Oh, I'm bursting.
Quick, the rug strap. Is that tight enough?
Blankets and strapping.
Is that tight enough?
Oh, will you hold, do you think?
Oh, the peril's past. The soda water has gone flat.
Thank heaven.
Phyllis returns with the washstand ewer in which she has dissolved the bust.
At last.
You are saved now. Drain it to the dregs.
Adolphus' efforts to swallow it are fearful. Phyllis thumping him on the back when he chokes, and Magnesia loosening the straps when he moans. At last, with a sigh of relief, he sinks back in the woman's arms.
Oh, how inexpressibly soothing to the chest. A delicious numbness steals through all my members. I would sleep.
Let him sleep.
He sleeps. Celestial harps are heard, but their chords cease on the abrupt entrance of the landlord. Here, what's this? What's all this noise? How can anybody sleep through it? Hello, what you been doing to my ceiling?
Silence, or leave the room. If you wake that man, he dies.
He can sleep through the noise you three are making. He can sleep through anything.
Detestable vulgarian, your pronunciation jars on the finest chords of my nature. Begone!
I don't believe he's asleep. I believe he's dead. Police! Police! Murder! Here, policeman. These three's been and murdered this jet between them, and now tore my ass down.
Policeman, indeed! Where's your manners?
Officer,
Sir?
as between gentlemen,
Sir, to you.
I may inform you that my friend had an acute attack of indigestion. No carbonate of soda being available, he swallowed a portion of this man's ceiling, and behold the result.
The ceiling was poisoned? Well, of all the artful... I arrest you for willful murder!
Oh, is this justice? What can I tell he was going to eat my ceiling?
True. The case is more complicated than I thought. Stiff already.
And precious heavy. Why, he's gone and he's on his nails.
What is this?
Oh, say not he is dead. Phyllis, fetch a doctor. Oh, rouse him, shake him.
Oh, is he a man or a statue? What's wrong, miss?
Do you not see what has happened?
Horror on horror's head.
What do you mean?
The plaster has set inside him. The officer was right. He is indeed a living statue.
This case is not provided for in my book of instructions. It doesn't seem no use trying artificial respiration, do it? Here, lend a hand, you. We'd best take him and set him up in Trafalgar Square.
I should put him in the cistern and wash it out of him.
The medical man, my lady.
A poison case, sir.
You mean to say that an unqualified person, a layman, has dared to administer poison in my district?
It looks like it. Hold up, my lady.
Not a moment must be lost. The patient must be kept awake at all costs. Constant and violent motion is necessary.
Stop! The lady is not the poisoned person.
It is you then. Why did you not say so before?
Now, he ain't him.
What? You?
Here, chuck it. Let me go. Just hold this lunatic, will you, Mr. Officer?
Come out of it, will you? You must all come with me to station.
What? in this frightful storm?
Oh, I think it's raining.
I think it's hailing.
It's thundering and lightning.
It's dangerous.
If you won't come quietly, then.
Ah! Policeman whistles. A fearful flash is followed by an appalling explosion of heaven's artillery. A thunderbolt enters the room and strikes the helmet of the devoted constable, whence it is attracted to the waistcoat of the doctor by the lancet in his pocket. Finally, it leaps with fearful force on the landlord, who absorbs the electric fluid at the cost of his life. The others look on horror-stricken as the three victims, after reeling, jostling, cannoning through a ghastly quadrille, at last sink inanimate on the carpet.
The doctor's dead.
Landlord's dead.
Oh, the policeman's dead.
The copper attracted the lightning.
After life's fitful fever, they sleep well. Phyllis sweeps them up.
Phyllis takes up the fan and fans the policeman, who rolls away like a leaf before the wind to the wall. She disposes similarly of the landlord and doctor.
Will they be in your way if I leave them there till morning, my lady? Or shall I bring up the ash pen and take them away?
Oh, they will not disturb us. Good night, Phyllis.
Good night, my lady. Good night, sir.
And now, husband, let us perform our last sad duty to our friend. He has become his own monument. Let us erect him. He is heavy, but love can do much.
A little leverage will get him on his feet. Give me my umbrella.
True.
He hands him the umbrella and takes up the boot jack. They get them under Adolphus's back and prise him up on his feet.
That's finished.
Forever and forever, Adolphus.
The rest is silence.
Won't you come home, Bill Bailey? The statue raises its hands in an attitude of blessing and turns its limelight face to heaven as the curtain falls.
All out for the next performance.
Yes, pass along, please, ladies and gentlemen, please.
Pass
Along now. Get along.
and curtain. Thank you, everybody. Let's take 5 minutes before we tackle the next one.
Thank you, Five.
Hi, well, that was great. I mean, I missed
back
I missed a lot of it, but yeah, I'm back home now. It was I really enjoyed what I was hearing, and it's great to hear. So
that would be one to act. You got to see that one.
yeah, no, because there is so much, and I mean that's also, I mean that Shaw really did. I mean, his stage directions can be quite extensive, but they can also be quite useful and descriptive. So
David's the lines for the landlord. It's like reading a foreign language. You know, he writes the accent in.
yeah.
And
Well,
you hear it out loud, and then you start to recognize there's words in there, but it looks like gobbledygook on the page.
yeah, you have to really sound it out, and then you're like, oh, now, and I've got the accent too. Then.
Somebody just texted us saying that was very silly. I think that's a compliment.
It's just good. That's what it's supposed to be.
Yes.
If you think that was silly, you ain't seen nothing yet.
So this is, I just want to let people know, I mean, that there's, that we're going to have, what is it? Right. Yes. On what day is today? No, Sunday. So it's Thursday's our next reading. Thursday will be The Tempest that Michael Gardner is play mastering. And then On Saturday is All's Well That Ends Well, that Virginia is play mastering, which will really be sort of we will have completed our Shakespeare canon for the year then. Don't know how many readings we did this year, but we've done a bunch. We've done a bunch, and
I was just gonna say on Sunday is Dear Brutus, presumably.
yes, thank you, yes, and then yes,
Yeah,
Dear
Barry.
Brutus. Yeah, which is again, I mean, I think it's just amazing when we get to hear these plays that now are sort of like in the public domain, but people aren't familiar with them. But also it's for so many of these things, like with the vortex and with this, that there's so many sort of like the ideas of society's expectations are just so like not of today, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
What's Dear Brutus?
Dear Brutus is, well, it's as Stephen always calls it, Peter Pan for adults. It's about a bunch of people who are in a house party, and the older gentleman who owns the house is really a fairy in disguise. And everyone goes off into the garden and has an experience, which changes their lives to some extent. At least some of them.
That was very mysterious. Did anybody understand that? You know what you just said, Dave?
You're gonna have to read the play or see the play to do it. I mean,
no, I think that sounds really great. Just like, I mean, that with Peter Pan, also, I mean, that you have Tinkerbell, you have fairies in this sort of magic world, that this is one with adults, and they go to the garden and they're transformed. I mean, who knows? Those are actually some of the things where people are like connected. I mean, like with Chekhov and being connected to the earth and wondering about those things seem really modern, you know, and very much like, how are we going to take care of our world?
Yeah.
But,
who wrote it?
J.M. Barrie. Same guy who wrote Peter Pan, actually.
Oh,
J.M. Barrie.
okay.
Yeah, never seen a production, never read it, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's not done very often, that's true. Okay, I think our 5 minutes are up. Are you all back? We are now going to do the Madison Morton play, which is entitled Grimshaw, Bagshaw, and Bradshaw. For those of you who are GNS fans, Madison Morton wrote the play Box and Cox, which of course became under Sullivan, not Gilbert, Cox and Box. Anyway, so here we are. The scene for this play is an apartment commonly furnished. At the center is a recess at which there is a small French bedstead with curtains. At the left center, a door. At the right center, another door. Doors also at right second entrance, and at left second entrance, a small table and more doors. And when you get the point, it's a forest. There are lots of doors.
Oh, how sleepy I am, to be sure. I declare I'm almost afraid to wink in case I shouldn't be able to open my eyes again. Oh, if the whole human race were now standing before me, inviting me with outstretched arms to throw myself into them, I should unhesitatingly select Morpheus as the individual into whose arms I should throw myself. I wonder what this pillow is composed of. My old landlady lays its feathers. Probably she means quills. But I'm inclined to pronounce it chaff, upon my life. It's rather early to go to bed, only 9 o'clock. Just the time when the majority of young men my age begin the day. But people's tastes differ. Besides, after being actively engaged in a perpendicular position all day long, I am only too glad to indulge in a horizontal position at night, especially as I have to be perpendicular again at 6:30 in the morning. It is to be a chemist and druggist. I mean, Shopman to a chemist and druggist. And such a chemist and druggist. If the shutters were not down and the shop swept by 7 o'clock, he turns all sorts of colours like the bottles in his window and addresses me in such a dreadful bad language that I really feel sometimes inclined to knock him down with one of his own pestles, preparatory to pounding him in one of his own mortars. I really wonder some ingenious creature or other doesn't immortalize himself by inventing shutters that would put themselves up at night and take themselves down in the morning. I haven't been to the exhibition yet, but I am afraid there's nothing of the sort there. Now then for my dressing gown. Oh, I know, it's in the closet. There. And now for my slippers. They're in the closet. Let me see, where did I put the boot jack? I shall never be able to get my boots off without that jack. A bachelor's life has its advantages, no doubt, but if I was married, I should insist on Mrs. Grimshaw finding the boot jack. In short, I should tell her that if she didn't, I should go to bed in my boots. What right has a chemist and druggist shopman to think of matrimony? And yet I do think of it, especially when I'm making up pills and penn'orths and salts for the poor people. And I suppose that's why I'm always making such dreadful blunders. I can't help it. My mind is always carrying me back to last Friday, 3 weeks, when I was induced to go to Cremorne to see a man about a balloon and a donkey. I did go, and there was a balloon there. There was a man, there was a donkey. Some people said there were 2 donkeys, but I only saw one. Away they went. And as I stood watching the intrepid aeronauts for a considerable period after they were out of sight, it suddenly came on to rain in torrents, and I heard a female voice at my elbow exclaim in the most touching accents, "What a fool I was to put on my new bonnet." I turned and beheld a sky-blue creature in a sweet young bonnet. I mean, a sweet young creature in a sky-blue bonnet. I instantly offered her half my umbrella. She thanked me and took it all. I offered to escort her home. Before we got halfway, we were such good friends that we were actually calling each other by our Christian names, Peter and Fanny. No, she is Fanny. At length we arrived at her place of abode, which to my unspeakable delight, I found to be exactly opposite my place of abode. There was only this one trifling drawback about it. She occupies the front parlour, and I live in the 2-pair back, which may perhaps account for my never being able to see her as I look out my window. Nevertheless, I know that she is near me, that the same butcher probably supplies us both, the same policeman certainly watches over us both, and I am happy. That being the case, I'll go to bed. Luckily, I always sleep like the top here. Everything is so remarkably quiet. I never hear even so much as a mouse stirring. Hello, who can that be? I repeat, who can that be? It can't be the hot rolls for breakfast at this time of night. Well, as I can't imagine who it is, I suppose I shall go see who it is. May I venture to inquire? A female?
Oh, shut the door, hush, quick.
No? Yes? 'Tis she! Fanny!
What'll do? Shut the door, I say. Oh, God. A closet. All right. Another closet. All right again. What's this? A door. Carefully and securely nailed up. All right again. Okay. Now, Peter Dingogummy. I don't know your other name.
Fanny Thingamabob, that's all I know of yours.
You are doubtless surprised, I might say astonished, to see me here. Such a proceeding on my part might be very naturally make your hair stand on end. It doesn't, but I say it might. Now speak, be candid, and I'll listen to you with the patience of a lamb.
Well, then I really must be allowed to observe that.
Oh, I perfectly agree with you. Listen to me as patiently as I've listened to you. I watched your landlady out of the house. She left the street door ajar. I slipped in, and here I am. Of course, I have a motive, a powerful motive.
The pleasure of renewing our acquaintance.
No such thing, Peter. I don't know your other name.
Grimshaw. I was christened Peter after my Aunt Sarah.
I have a favour, a most particular favour to ask of you.
What is it, Fanny? I don't know your other name.
Sparks. I was christened Fanny after my Uncle Benjamin. The favour I have to ask of you is a mere trifle. Will you grant it?
If I can, I will.
Sir!
Very well, then I will, whether I can or not.
1,000 thanks. Are these comfortable lodgings of yours, quiet and all that sort of thing?
Remarkably quiet, and particularly all that sort of thing.
Oh, that's enough. I wish to occupy them till tomorrow morning.
You call that asking a favour of me? I call that doing me a favour. The longer the better, my adorable Fanny.
Peter, as you are evidently in the dark, allow me to enlighten you. When we first met under your umbrella, Peter, you impressed me with the notion that you were a very good-natured sort of creature, Peter. Consequently, Peter, I felt the less hesitation in asking this favour of you. Am I to occupy your lodgings till tomorrow morning, or am I not? That is the question, Peter. Do you consent, or do you not, Peter?
Of course I do. I jump at it. Oblige me by keeping your eye while I jump at it.
Oh, that'll do. Now go.
Go?
Go!
Where?
That's your affair. I merely repeat, go. For of course, if I stop here, you can't.
Pooh-pooh. A joke's a joke. I think you must admit that when a young woman not only takes possession of a young man's lodging, but turns the young man out of the young man's lodging, the incident is rather a strong one.
Not at all. Surely you can take a bed at a friend's for one night?
I beg your pardon. I've only one friend in London, and he's in Birmingham.
So much the better, for you can make use of his lodgings.
No, I can't. He's taken his lodgings with him. I mean, the keys to his lodgings.
Then go to a hotel. Or even if supposing you have to walk about the streets for a few hours, you'll be more than repaid by the knowledge that you are obliging me.
True. I never thought of that. That could have been thinking of... What could I have been thinking about that I should never have thought of that? Miss Fanny, as you are very properly observed just now, I am a good-natured creature. In short, a good-natured creature doesn't exist. But I am not a pump. I am several degrees removed from a pump. Therefore, if you still contemplate domesticating yourself in my apartment for the night, you must take me as one of the fixtures.
Peter!
It's no sort of use trying with Peter, because Peter won't do, and what's more, Peter won't be done.
Cruel, barbarous man!
No, don't. I'm not cruel. I'm not barbarous.
I see how it is, huh? You want me to go down on my knees to you? Well, very well, I will.
No, don't.
Oh, yes, I will.
Don't be absurd. But good gracious, if you'd only tell me what you want my apartment for.
I will. Well, you shall know my secret another time. There, now do go.
Well, this is pleasant. Turned out of my own apartments just 9 o'clock at night. I might say 9:15, just like me. In short, it's me all over. One moment. You'll pledge me your word of honor as a gentleman that you don't require my domicile for the purpose of getting up a revolution?
For sure.
I'm going. Oh, by the by, you'll particularly oblige me by not indulging either in pipes or cigars, tennis shifting Cubas especially. Might I venture to suggest one fond embrace before we part? Then when I come back, let it be when I come back, or I won't go at all.
Very well.
You'll be kind enough to take in the milk in the morning and the pennyworth of watercresses, and that'll do. Now I'm off. By the by, if you should happen to require any refreshment, you'll find the remains of a penny loaf and a jar of pickles in that closet. Now I really am going. Not for long. No, Miss Fanny. It won't be long before I drop down upon you again like a thunderbolt. If you require the warming pan, you'll find it under the bed.
He's gone at last. Poor Peter. He's a dear, kind, obliging little fellow. That he is. But now to work. Let me see. This must be the closet that Emily means. Ah, yes. Here is the sliding panel. Sure enough. Emily! Emily!
Yes?
The coast is quite clear. You may venture.
Is he gone?
Yes, but first let me replace these things to prevent the discovery of this secret communication between the two rooms. So far, so well. And now, my dear Emily, thanks to my impudence and Mr. Grimshaw's good nature, you are safe from the pursuit, for some hours at least. But tell me, you are quite sure it was your uncle, Mr. Towser, that you saw?
Certain. There's no mistaking Uncle Towser. I saw him leaning up against the lamppost on the other side of the street with his eyes fixed on the second floor as I sat down to breakfast this morning. And there he was again when I sat down to dinner, and I'll be bound he's there now.
Then, depend upon it, there's mischief brewing. These sheriff's officers have such capital noses when they're once on the right scent. And yet, now I think of it, that room you now occupy was formerly Mr. Bradshaw's, was it not?
Yes.
Then it may be Mr. Bradshaw that Towser's waiting for after all.
Perhaps it is. For when my dear Bradshaw ran away with me 3 days ago, he gave the room up to me and went to lodge in the next street, telling me to be sure and lie snug, not even to show myself at the window till he had scraped money enough to buy our marriage license.
Which injunction you luckily disobeyed, or I should not have seen you from my front parlour, and then I shouldn't have known how cruel Uncle Towser insisted on your marrying his son John, a corporal major in the blue, 6'4" in his stockings, how you had already given your heart to a certain Mr. Bradshaw, and had run away with him as a preparatory step towards giving him your hand. In short, I shouldn't have been here to get you out of a scrape, which you most certainly and most unquestionably have got yourself into. Now, let's see how matters stand. You love Bradshaw. Bradshaw loves you. Uncle Towser objects to Bradshaw. At least, I presume Uncle Towser objects to Bradshaw.
Yes, though he has never even seen him.
Then why does Uncle Towser object to Bradshaw?
I strongly suspect it's because he doesn't choose to give up the £3,000 he has of mine.
Very well. Where did I leave off? I know. Uncle Towser objects to Bradshaw. Consequently, Bradshaw runs away with you. Towser discovers your hiding place. At least you fancy so. You beckon me to come to you. I run across the street, hear your story, see Grimshaw enter this room, recognize him in a moment, follow him the next, prevail on the poor little fellow to find a little night's lodging elsewhere, and now, thanks to that sliding panel which you so accidentally and so fortunately discovered, if Uncle Towser makes his appearance in that room, you'll slip into this. If he comes into this room, we'll slip into that. In short, you'll give him the slip either way.
Yes, capital. And in the meantime, my dear good aunt, who's always fought poor Bradshaw's battles for her good-for-nothing old wretch of a husband, has promised to send me word in case anything of importance occurs. Hark!
Well, there's no danger. I've locked the door.
I'm sure I heard a noise.
For sure. What of that? I've examined the room thoroughly. That is a mere closet with shelves, and that, which otherwise might have proved an awkward affair for us, is luckily firmly and securely nailed up.
Women, the devil? Hush! Don't be alarmed, ladies, I beg. And above all, don't scream, I implore.
Who are you, sir? And what do you want, sir?
Yes, sir, what do you want, sir? And who are you?
One at a time, ladies, if you love me.
Sir!
My name is Bagshaw. John Bagshaw, a medical student at your service. I live in the adjoining apartment, and finding one room not enough, I naturally concluded that door led to another. The door wasn't disposed to yield. I was determined not to give way, and you know the rest.
Yes, sir. And now that you find that this apartment is occupied, of course, you'll return to yours immediately.
And leave two such charming neighbors. Oh dear, no. You don't know John Bagshaw. The fact is, I have a favor to ask of you, which, from its trifling nature, I venture to consider as already granted.
What is it, sir?
Simply that you will allow me to occupy your apartment till tomorrow morning, that's all.
With us?
Of course, but pray don't think of turning out on my account. Besides, I'm easily satisfied. I can sleep anywhere, and I never snore.
Never heard such a thing in all my life. Leave this room this moment, fellow, or we'll turn you out.
Yes, we'll turn you out.
Then I must appeal to your sympathies, ladies. Were you ever in danger of being arrested for your tailor's bill? I am £8.5, and I've only £12.10 in my pocket.
Then why don't you pay it?
Because with that £12.10, I've got to buy a gold watch and chain for the future Mrs. Bagshaw. Miss Amelia Jones. Oh, perhaps you know her, a sweet little creature, keeps a little tobacconist shop a little way up Little Windmill Street.
Then why not change your lodgings?
I do nothing else but change my lodgings. I've changed them 17 times already in the last 6 weeks, but the scoundrel sticks to me like my shadow.
Woo!
Oh, the sheriff's officer. I saw him just now leaning up against a lamppost on the opposite side of the street with his eye fixed on the second floor.
Towser. Then he's not looking for you or Mr. Bradshaw either. After all, we're sorry for you, young man, but at any rate, you can't be arrested tonight.
You don't know Towser.
Don't we, though?
If he gets into the house before I'm out of it, he's just the sort of fellow to go to sleep on the rug outside my door and pounce upon me the first thing in the morning.
Nevertheless, you must return to your own room again, sir.
No. Anything rather than that. I'll get under the table, hide in a closet. Here's the very thing. Hello? You've got another room here. Why didn't you mention it before? I'm very much obliged to you.
No, come back, sir.
I am very much obliged to you.
Was there ever such a cool, impudent fellow as this Bagshaw? Oh, Emily, such a capital idea. He knows nothing of the sliding panel, so I'll just shut him in. And now, if Uncle Towser has come to look for you, he'll go into that room and find Mr. Bagshaw, arrest him, take him off, and so we shall get rid of both our torments at once. Oh, who can this be? Who's there?
It's me. Grimshaw, open the door.
Don't do any such thing. What will become of me?
Run into that room for a minute. I'll soon get rid of Mr. Grimshaw. In. Now, what is it you want?
I've left something of utmost importance behind me.
What is it?
I don't know. Yes, I do. It's my purse. I've only got 4p piece in my pocket, and do what I will, I can't get a bed at any hotel, including the chambermaid for that.
You'll not stop long.
Not a moment. So open the door. Make haste. Oh, here's somebody coming.
I don't hear anyone.
Well, to confess the truth, I should rather be surprised if you did. The fact is, it was only an ingenious device of mine to induce you to open the door.
For shame, sir, to have recourse to an unworthy artifice to gain admission into my apartment.
Your apartment? Come, I like that. Hello? You've been smoking.
Oh, sure. Leave me be, I beg. I implore. Consider my reputation.
What's your reputation compared to mine? If you had only seen the look my landlady gave me just now as I came in. She's not what you'd call a particularly handsome woman at any time, but at the moment she was repulsive in the highest degree. And then the fiendish grin she put on when she said, "I thought I heard a female voice in your room, sir." And then she gave me this letter.
A letter for you?
There's no address, but the landlady said it was to be delivered immediately to the gentleman on the second floor. And as I have every reason to believe that I am the only gentleman on the second floor.
Exactly. Then why don't you read it? What's the signature?
Susan Towser.
Emily's aunt. The letter was intended for Mr. Bradshaw, and she didn't know that he had left the house. Well, go on.
Why should I? I know nothing about Susan Towser. I never heard of Susan Towser.
I insist upon knowing what's in that letter, sir.
Oh, she's jealous, I declare. Sir, I am sorry to say that my husband's knows... No, I'm sorry. That my husband knows everything. N-O-S-E for knows. Then all I can say is that Susan's husband is a devilish clever fellow.
Go on.
He has found out where you live. So mind your... What's this? Mind your P's and... Oh, your P's and Q's. P-E-A-S P's and K-E-W-S Q's.
This is what I dreaded.
Now, Fanny, don't take on so. I don't know this Susan. I give you my honour, I never looked the slightest interest in any Susan in my life, except black-eyed Susan in Surrey. Well, since you won't believe me, this is no place for me.
Yes, he had better stop, or we may need his protection. Oh, you needn't go, Peter. You wouldn't leave your Fanny.
Hello, this sudden change means something. As Susan would say, I must mind my P's and Q's. Of course, where Fanny is, there would Peter be likewise.
Oh, Emily must be made acquainted with her aunt's message, but how? I have it. I can reach that room by means of the corridor.
Hello. It's you that are leaving your Peter.
Oh, only for a minute.
She says only for a minute. Then I'll take care nobody else shall come. That's a very remarkable woman. She's something out of the common, and that's why I like her. But I confess I should like to know why she has so excessively anxious to turn me out of my apartment. Good gracious, she may have had somebody else here. A favoured lover, perhaps, that she couldn't receive at home. That'd account for the powerful smell of tobacco. Oh, how shall I find out? I have it. Perhaps she'll talk in her sleep. For I hope she will go to sleep. I can't keep awake all night. By the by, where am I to sleep? I know. A couple of chairs will do very well. One for my head and one for my feet. But then what's to become of my... No, that won't do at all. No, I'll put two chairs together for my... Oh, no, that won't do either. For what shall I do with my head and my feet? Never mind. I shall manage it somehow. Oh, I declare I feel quite chilly. I've half a mind to light a fire, and we shall all be more comfortable. I will light a fire.
Towser's got into the house. I saw him distinctly through the keyhole crossing the passage toward the door of that room. Gad! It was lucky I happened to see that charming neighbours shut the sliding panel upon me as I left them, or I should have been nabbed to a certainty. And now I must beg and entreat them not to betray me. Where the deuce are they? They can surely have gone to bed. I'll just take a peep.
No, sir.
Hush!
I won't touch. Who are you? What do you want here, sir? And how did you get here, sir? In my apartment, sir?
Your apartment? No, that won't do. I know better.
Oh, you know better, do you? Oh, you're a funny fellow, you are. I don't know whether you're aware of it, but you're an exceedingly funny fellow.
You're very kind, I'm sure. A relation of the ladies, I presume.
The ladies? Oh, he means Fanny. I'll frighten him. Yes, sir, I'm her big brother.
Oh, so much the better. Then, of course, you're in the secret.
I rather suspect I am. Oh, faithless Fanny. Do you smoke, sir?
Yes, allow me to offer you a cigar.
Pooh-pooh.
Then, of course, you know all about it, eh?
It? What?
Why, about me and Towser.
Towser? What? Susan's husband?
Hush! He's here, in the house. You'll not betray me.
Not I. Oh, you good-for-nothing Don Juan, you. By the by, between you and me, a few lessons in the rudiments of English grammar wouldn't do Susan any harm.
Hush! What's that?
Open the door.
Towser's voice. Where shall I go? Put me somewhere!
Oh, he's shut himself up in the closet. He'll be suffocated to a certainty.
Open the door, I say, or I'll split it into 1,000 pieces.
Oh, don't be absurd. Call again tomorrow. I've just gone out.
Open the door, I say.
I'm coming. I'd better let Towser in. I'll soon get rid of him.
Well, now, sir, your name, if you please.
Peter.
Shaw.
No, not Shaw. Grimshaw.
That's near it, but not quite the thing. Suppose we say Bradshaw, eh?
We'll say Bradshaw or Clabshaw or Scrimshaw if you prefer, but nevertheless, it's Grimshaw.
I know better, and so do you. My name's Towser. You hear, sir? Towser. And so, sir.
Towser the Nowser?
Shaw. Where is she?
She? I see it all. He's come after Mrs. Towser and takes me for a facetious young friend here in the closet.
I repeat, where is she?
Susan?
No, my niece.
What niece?
I've only one, Emily.
Don't know her.
She's here. You brought her here. You got her here, but you shan't keep her here.
Wait a minute. Let's understand each other. Perhaps when you say Emily, you mean Fanny?
If I meant Fanny, I shouldn't say Emily.
Well, she said her name was Fanny.
Likely enough. Where is she? Produce her.
No, I can't. She's gone. She's just this moment stepped out.
Gone? Stepped out without her bonnet, eh? Now what do you say?
Oh, really? You put me in such a dreadful state of confusion.
What's this? A letter from Mrs. Towser. Sir, my husband knows everything. He has found out where you live. So she's in the conspiracy against me too, is she? Well, she always took your part. Bad Bradshaw.
Grimshaw. I tell you what, Towser, you're a remarkably pleasant creature, but strange to say, I've had quite enough of you.
No.
Oh, hello, give me that hat.
Certainly. There it is, Bradshaw.
Grimshaw.
Oh, of course, you know best, and yet people generally write their own names in their own hats.
I never do write my name in my hat, sir. I merely pat the initials, sir, G for Grimshaw. Hello, this says B.
Yes, B for Bradshaw.
Pooh, it's a mistake. This is not my hat. In the first place, it doesn't fit me. It's too... Besides, if it was my hat, I shouldn't go and serve it in that sort of way.
It won't do, Bradshaw.
Grimshaw! My mind misgives me. Emily, no, yes, I don't know what I mean. However, her anxiety to get me out of the house, her motion when I read Susan's letter, Bradshaw's hat, the thing's clear. I've been imposed upon. Towser, you came here for Grimshaw. I mean Bradshaw. You shall have your Bradshaw. Grimshaw. No, your Bradshaw. Just keep your eye on me. Bradshaw, you're wanted. I'm sorry, Bradshaw, but... What? Hello, he's gone.
Is he? What a pity.
Well, this is no laughing matter, Towser. I saw him distinctly go into that closet. Yes, Towser, distinctly into that closet did I see him go, Towser. Now, as he can only have got out of the closet through the keyhole, I repeat that this is no laughing matter.
Bradshaw, as I said before, it won't do. Listen, my son John, Corporal Major in the Blues, 6'4" in his stockings, is downstairs. I give you 5 minutes to restore my niece Emily to my arms. If you don't, my son John, 6'4" in his stockings, runs you through the body. Au revoir.
Well, but...
Au revoir. I say, remember, 5 minutes or else sword through the body.
But Towser, no damn nonsense, Towser.
They're gone.
If I could only let Bradshaw know what has happened. Here's my letter. But who's to take it?
I will.
No, I wouldn't be left for the world.
Oh, then here's the man to do it.
Well, the coast seems clear.
Mr. Bagshaw, I say you needn't be afraid. There's no danger.
You're quite sure?
Yes. Now, Mr. Bagshaw, one good turn deserves another. Thanks to us, you have escaped the clutches of Mr. Towser. Prove your gratitude by taking this letter to its address immediately. It's only on the next street.
Of course I will. You're sure Towser's gone?
Yes. Besides, he couldn't recognize you in the dark.
That's very true. Especially as he has never seen me. What's this? Bradshaw, not Bob Bradshaw.
Yes.
A commercial traveler?
Yes.
Is the fancy chip and bonnet line?
Yes. Do you know him?
Know him? We're inseparable! I borrowed 13 6 of him 5 years ago, and I've never seen him since. I'll go to him this moment. By the by, the £12.10 I spoke of just now, here they are. Now, if I should run against Towser, I may be obliged to pay him. Amelia Jones will then be done out of her watch and chain, so I'll leave him behind me.
Very well. Here, put the purse in this drawer.
Now I'm off. No message, I suppose. Merely deliver the letter, all right? Hello? Well, this can't be my hat. It must be your biggest brother. I wouldn't own such a thing.
No, not that way. You can slip out the back staircase and I'll close the door after you.
Towser sticks to it. He called me Bradshaw no less than 17 times before he got to that street door. And he's in earnest, too, about his son John, for I looked through the keyhole and saw him. 6'4" in his stockings. He's 10 feet if he's an inch. Oh, the 5 minutes are nearly gone. So I think the best thing I can do is go before they're quite gone. I will. Oh, this is too bad. Somebody has taken my new hat and left this mutilated tile. I can't go out with such a thing as this on my head. I can't have a crowd of dirty little boys running after me crying, "What a shockingly bad hat." I have it. I'll shut the door and barricade myself in. Oh, good gracious, there's someone else. It's done nothing but rain men and women in my second floor back. I shall have to walk about with my umbrella up. Who are you? What do you want here? How did you get here? Not by the door. I should have seen you. If you came down the chimney, you'd be black. Who are you, I say?
Hush, I entreat. Hark, a step on the stairs.
Oh, now she's gone and shut herself among my pickles. Oh, here's another.
Here I am again.
I see you are, Towser. But where's the corporal major? Why didn't you bring young 6'4" with you? The more the merrier. Towser, I shall do you a serious mischief. Yes, Towser, in spite of the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, I feel I shall do you a mischief. Towser, will you go?
No, Bradshaw.
Oh, he's at it again. Grimshaw.
Not without Emily.
But I tell you that... Good gracious. Perhaps that's Emily in there with the pickles. Of course it must be. Towser, you shall have your Emily. I repeat, Towser, you shall have your Emily. Oh, here's another.
Here I am, dear.
She calls me dear.
A stranger. Oh, I beg your pardon, sir. I thought my husband was alone.
Husband? Pooh.
Hush, back me in all I say. I'm rather late, dear, but you won't be angry with your poor little Amelia.
Amelia? Oh, affairs are getting more complicated than ever. If this goes on much longer, I shan't know my head from my tail. Oh, but never mind, I'd rather like this. Say no more. I forgive you. There. I decidedly like this. I forgive you again.
Rather odd you didn't tell me you were married, eh, Bradshaw?
Bradshaw? What does he mean by Bradshaw, dear?
I don't know. He will insist upon calling me Bradshaw, though I've been telling him all along my name is...
Bagshaw.
No. Yes, of course. Bagshaw.
John Bagshaw, medical student.
Indeed. Then, Mr. John Bagshaw, I beg to say that I've been running after you for the last 18 months.
You don't say so. Well, as you must be rather tired by this time, perhaps you'd like to take a chair.
No, thank you. I'd rather take you.
Take me?
Yes, at the suit of Stephen Stitch Taylor for £8.10. So come along, Bagshaw.
Oh, the thing's clear. The entire human race is combined in an atrocious conspiracy against me.
Oh, my dear Johnny.
Oh, I'm not your Johnny.
There, you've set your wife crying. For shame, Bagshaw.
Not my wife. I'm not Bagshaw.
Pooh. Just now you said you were. You were. Come. Pay the money or come along with me.
Yes, Johnny, pay the man the money and let the man go. It's very true you meant to buy your Amelia a gold watch and chain, but your Amelia can do without it. So, as I said before, pay the man his money. Let me see, I think you left your purse in this table drawer. Oh, I thought so. Here it is. Pay the money.
Oh, of course. I'll pay the money with the greatest pleasure in the world, especially as it isn't mine. How much?
£8.05.
There. And go now.
Not without Emily. No, Bradshaw.
Oh, now I'm Bradshaw again. You get £8.10 out of me as Bagshaw, and now you come down upon me for Emily as Bradshaw. Well, you shall have your Emily.
No.
No, it's no use. Why not give the man his Emily and let the man go? Emily! Come forth. My heart bleeds for you, Emily, but she's not there. No, she's not there. Oh, the house is haunted. I'm bewitched. Towser, oblige me by calling in your son John and desire the corporal major as a particular favour to run his sword several times through my body, for I feel, oh Lord.
Oh, here I am again. It's all right. I've delivered the letter, and here's Bradshaw's answer. which he begged me to deliver immediately. Perhaps you'll do that for me, for I can't. It's addressed to Towser.
Oh, a letter for me.
Towser! The devil!
Sir, let me call Emily mine, and her £300 are yours. Ah, noble liberal man, allow me to embrace you.
I haven't the most distant idea what you're talking about, but never mind. Go it, I'm resigned to my fate. Does anybody else want to embrace me?
Bradshaw, you've conquered. She's yours. Bradshaw, Emily is yours.
Oh, thanks, my dear uncle.
Oh, as I said before, I'm resigned to my fate.
My dear uncle, this isn't Mr. Bradshaw.
No? But who the devil are you, sir?
Whoever you like, my little dear. The fact is that I'm in such a state of confusion that I neither know nor care who I am. But to the best of my belief, I am not Bradshaw, and I think I can take it upon myself to assert that I am not Bagshaw, though I have paid his tailor's bill.
You have?
Hello. Come out of my bed, sir.
Yes, Mr. Bagshaw, your debt is paid, and with your own money. I believe you will find the account quite correct.
Then my poor Amelia must go without her watch and chain after all.
Your Amelia? His Amelia?
No, not his Amelia, but his Fanny. If you will take her for better or for worse.
Take you? Oh, of course I will. Better you may be, but worse you can't. No, I mean, really, as I said before, what with Towsers and Bradshaws and Bagshaws and Grimshaws and Fannys and Emilys, I'm in such a state of confusion that
I'm afraid you will scarcely forgive me for being the cause of it. I can only plead as my excuse my anxiety to unite my dear Emily to the man of her heart.
But where is this man of her heart? Where is this Bradshaw?
You mean Bagshaw? No, Bradshaw. No, I shall never understand these matters exactly, Stand. No matter. There's one interesting fact clearly established. You consent to become Mrs. Grimshaw. I don't care what becomes of anybody else, much as I love them. I don't care one straw what becomes of them. But as you say, where is your Bradshaw?
I'm Bradshaw.
Oh, here you are. And how are you, Bradshaw? I mean, Bagshaw? No, it's no use. I never shall be able to understand.
My dear sir, I give you joy.
Do you? Then perhaps you'll give me my hat and take your own. Come, it's quite early yet, so suppose we might make a night of it? What do you say to a supper? I propose that Towser finds the supper. Carried unanimously. Don't go and throw away a lot of money, Towser. Do the thing well, but not extravagantly. And all I can say is that if you'll send in the cold fowls and lobsters, I'll stand the pickles. That's what I call the thing liberally. That's what I call doing the thing liberally. And if you will only provide a liberal supply of approbation, there won't be a happier party sit down to supper in the Haymarket than Grimshaw, Bagshaw, and Bradshaw.
And curtain.
Well,
Okay.
I'm thoroughly confused.
Not the only one. Let's take another 5 for the next play.
As soon as I come in, everybody else is there.
Yeah, well, that's when you've got the key character who everybody's been talking about. Then you come in and you've got the few lines of the punchline. But that was really terrific job, everyone. It was a lot of fun.
Regional production I did where I played Godot.
Yeah, I'm sure that's something people will never forget.
Oh, Paul, you still keeping crazy hours?
Yeah, I was working today. I mean, I had to start. Only started at about like less than about, yeah, it was more than 10 of, but I was still finishing up with deliveries because this is the month where
Christmas.
lots of things. And then of course
No,
with this,
cards.
very good, because yeah, we're collecting a lot of them. But all of these things, and now I see in so many plays, I notice it's like, oh yeah, all about this letter not getting delivered or getting delivered to the wrong person. It's like, yeah, that does happen more than we'd like to admit. So,
Oh man.
but
Well, since you started doing this, I've started noticing more than I used to. What these folks do all day, you know. So I pass them in my office, and I'm going in and out for lunch or something. They're coming in and doing the mailbox things in a commercial building. Ay, ay, ay. Out in the suburbs where I am, it's kind of, I mean, it's not, it doesn't seem as bad, but wow, what they seem to have to go through in the city. Because they're sort of wheeling those carts in crowded streets, and everybody's busy and everybody's stressed and they're busy.
yeah, and everything is just, yeah, even there's so many more people that there are, and also I'm sure lots of people in New York, lots more get mail. You know, you get some people on your route, it's like they get lots of mail, you know, and I'm aware that it's like, yeah, I get a fair amount of mail. I get probably too much junk mail, and like to cut it down.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed in my building, there's 90 apartments, and we have a regular mailman. When he's not there and people have to fill in, the mail takes them until sometimes 9 o'clock at night. God knows how much overtime they must be racking up, because, you know, when you're not familiar and you're just building after building after building, and many of them bigger than ours. And if you're not familiar with them, oh God, they must go home with just horrid headaches.
Yeah.
Paul, are you working out where you live?
Yeah, I'm working in Bloomfield. Yeah.
So you don't have that, I'm pointing like everybody knows who I'm pointing to. You don't have that experience, right, with the buildings?
Well, no, there are some buildings. There are apartment buildings. There are a lot of things with apartments where you have a lot of things there. And yeah, it makes a difference when you're familiar with it, because not every piece of mail, I mean, always has the apartment number.
Right.
And I mean, they do actually do a lot of sorting. And also one of the things that also happens is that a lot of times they will send in CCAs who are not very experienced to cover sometimes on things. So it's like, as a CCA, you get great experience, but yeah, it's taken me a lot longer to do things than they think it should. So
CCA is somebody in training?
City Carrier Assistant. It's like it's a non-career track. You can get like 2 1-year appointments, and then if you become a regular, then your situation is much better. But it's kind of like the sort of apprenticeship. It's like you have to really suffer so that we know that that you'll do it, that you'll stick with it enough that it's worth making you a regular, I guess. I don't know.
Well, young Fish started as an apprentice. Of great expectations. Should get ready.
Yeah. But also, I mean, like Love's Labor's Lost with Costard, I mean, so much of it, what essentially goes on is because he misdelivers the letters, you know. It's like, and then it's like he's 100%, he's got 2 letters and he gets them both wrong, you know, so. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'd never heard of this before, but such a.
Why have we heard of Cox and Box and Box and Cox? I know I have, but from where?
Well, Cox and Box is it's always frequently done with people who do Gilbert and Sullivan. Although it's not by Gilbert, it's just by Sullivan. And
that's where I know it from. Okay. Yeah.
But Cox, it's based on Box and Cox, which was the popular farce that was written by Morton.
That group you did the concerts with, the GNS Society, was it?
Yeah.
Are they back up and running?
Are they still going? Yeah, they've just started it up again.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm hoping to do a concert with them sometime this year, but I don't know if it's going to work out or not. It has to be either in May or June because there's no other time, actually. All right, I think we better get going again. So is everyone back?
I'm not.
As much as we can be.
Okay. All right, this is a play by Charles Dickens called Mr. Nightingale's Diary, and it dates from 1851. The scene is the common room of the Water Lily Hotel at Malvern. A carriage stops and the doorbell rings violently.
Now then, waiter, landlord, somebody.
Here you are, my boy.
My boy? Who are you boying of? Don't do it, I won't have it. The worm will turn if it's trod upon.
I never trod upon you.
What do you mean by calling me a worm?
You called yourself one. You ought to know what you are better than I do.
Has anybody seen that puppy of mine answers to the name of Tip with a gold lace collar? Oh, there you are. You scoundrel, where have you been?
Good gracious me, why, if it ain't Mr. Gabblewig Jr.
What? Mrs. Livers? Do you turn up at Malvern Wells of all places on earth?
Oh, bless you, sir. I've been landlady of this place these 2 years. Ever since you did me that great kindness, ever since you paid out that execution for me when I was in the greengrocery way and used to wait at your parties in the temple, which is 5 years ago come Christmas. Oh, I've been through a little legacy my husband dropped into in the public line. Oh, I'm overjoyed to see you, sir. How do you do, sir? Do you find yourself pretty well, sir?
Why, no, I can't say I am pretty well.
No more ain't I.
Be so good as to take those boots of yours into the kitchen, sir.
Yes, sir.
And the baggage into my bedroom.
Yes, sir. Here's a world.
Oh, the Queen's counsellor that is to be looks very down, uncommonly down. Something's wrong. I wonder what it is. Can't be debt. Don't look like drinking. Oh, hope it isn't dice. Beg your pardon, Mr. Gabblewig, but you'd wish to dine, sir? Sir? We don't hear. What would you choose for dinner, Mr. Gabblewig?
Oh, yes. Give me some cold veal.
Cold veal? He's out of his mind.
I'm a miserable wretch. I was going to be married. I am not going to be married. The young lady's uncle refused to consent. It's all off, all over, all up.
Oh, but there are other lady.
Don't talk nonsense.
All the rest are cold veal, I suppose. But you'll excuse my taking the liberty, being so much beholden to you. But couldn't anything be done to get over the difficulty?
Nothing at all. How is it possible? Do you know the nature of the uncle's objection? But of course you don't. I'll tell you. He says, I speak too fast and am too slow. Want reality and purpose and all that. He says, I'm all words. What the devil else does he suppose I can be, being a lawyer? He says, I happen to be counsel for it. He says, I happen to be counsel for his daughter just now, but after marriage might be counsel for the opposite side. He says, I am wanting in earnestness, deficient in moral go-aheadism.
In which?
Just so. In consequence of which, you behold before you a crushed flower. I am shut up and done for. The peace of the valley is fled. I have come down here to see if the cold water cure will have any effect on a broken heart. Having had a course of wet blanket, I'm going to try the wet sheet. Dare say I shall finish ere long with a daisy counterpane.
Everybody's bit by the cold water. It'll be the ruin of our business.
If the waters of Malvern were the waters of Lethe, I'd take a douche 40 feet high this afternoon and drink 25 tumblers before breakfast tomorrow morning. Anything to wash out the tormenting remembrance of Rosina Nightingale.
Nightingale, Mr. Gabberwick?
Nightingale. As the Shakespeare duet in the happy days of our amateur plays, the nightingale alone, she, poor bird, is all forlorn, leaned her breast up till the thorn. I've no doubt she's doing it at the present moment, leaning her head against the drawing-room window, looking across the crescent. It's all the same.
The crescent, Mr. Gabberwick?
The crescent.
Not of Bath.
Of Bath.
Oh, good gracious. Wait, look at that, sir.
Oh, the cramped hand of an obstinate old bird who might, could, and should have been, and wouldn't be my uncle-in-law. Christopher Nightingale's compliments to the landlady of the Water Lily at Malvern Wells.
The present establishment.
And hearing it is a quiet, unpretending, well-conducted house, requests to have the following rooms prepared for him Tuesday afternoon.
The present afternoon.
Namely, a private sitting room with a... What, a weed? You don't smoke.
A view, sir.
Oh, with a view. Aye. A bedroom for Christopher N. with a what? A wormy pew?
A worming pan.
To be sure. But it's as like one as the other. With a warming pan and 2 suitable chambers for Miss Rosina Nightingale. Oh, support me.
Oh, hold up, Mr. Gabberwick.
You might knock me down with a feather.
But you needn't knock me down with a barrister. Hold up, sir.
And her maid. Christopher Nightingale intends to try the cold water cure.
I beg your pardon, sir. What's his complaint?
Nothing.
Oh, he'll get over it, sir. Of all the invalids that come down here, the invalids that have nothing the matter with them are the hopeless cases.
Cold water cure, having drunk, see diary, 467 gallons, 3 pints and a half of the various celebrated waters of England and Germany, and proved them to be all humbugs. He has likewise proved, see diary, all pills to be humbugs. Miss Rosina Nightingale, being rather low, will also try the cold water cure, which will probably rouse her. Never. Perhaps she, like me, may struggle with... Oh, and I have no doubt of it, Lithers, for she is the tenderest heart in all the world. Some feeling of regret awakened by the present individual. But if she loved as I have loved, and I have no doubt she did and does, she can never forget. And she won't. I feel convinced, if it's only in obstinacy.
Well, sir, what'll you do? I'm entirely devoted to you and ready to serve you in any way. Will you have a ladder from the builders and run away with the young lady in the middle of the night? Or would the key of the street door be equally agreeable?
Neither. Can't be done. If it could be done, I should have done it in Bath. Grateful duty won't admit of union without consent of the uncle. Uncle won't give consent, stick won't be dog, dog won't bite pig, pig won't go over the stile, and so the lovers will never be married. Give me the cold veal and the day before yesterday's paper.
Hello here. Hello, my name is Formerville. Is Mr. Formerville's luggage arrived? Several boxes were sent on beforehand for Mr. Formerville. Are those boxes here? Do you hear me, my man? Has Mr. Formerville's luggage arrived? I am Mr. Formerville. Arrived?
Quite safely, sir. Yesterday, 3 boxes, sir, and a pair of foils.
And a pair of foils, the same. Very good. Take this cap. And the gloves in the cap. Good, good. Give me the cap again. It's cold. Very good. Are you the landlady?
I am Thomasina Lithers, the landlady, sir.
Very good, very good. You write the title pages of all your books, no doubt. Thomasina Lithers is my name, and landlord is my station. Malvern Wells, my dwelling place, and chalk my occupation. What have you got to eat, my good lady?
Oh, well, sir, we could do you a nice steak, or we could toss you up a cutlet, or...
Now, what have you got ready dressed, my good lady?
Well, we have a very fine York ham and a beautiful fowl, sir.
Produce them. Let the banquet be served. Stay, have you...
Well, sir, we have, and I can strongly recommend it.
To what may that remark refer, my dear lady?
Well, I thought you mentioned Rhine wine, sir.
Truly, yes. I think I did. Yes, I'm sure I did. Is it very fine?
Oh, it's uncommon fine, sir. Indeed, Frau milk of the most delicious quality.
You may produce a flask. The price is no consideration, as I shall never pay for it.
Directly, sir.
So, he bites. He will be done. And if he will be done, he must be done. I can't help it. Thus men rush upon their fate. Oh, stranger. Your servant, sir. My name is Formerville.
Of several provincial theatres, I believe, and formerly engaged to assist an amateur company at Bath under the management of...
Mr. Cablewick! Heavens, heavens! This recognition is so sudden, so unlooked for. It unmans me. I owe him 15 quid, 4 shirts and a waistcoat. I hope he's forgotten the loan of those trifles. Oh, sir, if I drop a tear upon that hand...
Oh, consider it done. Suppose the tear, as we used to say in rehearsal. How are you going on? Have you left the profession?
Well, the profession left me. I either turned it off or it turned me off, all one. Yes, Mr. Gabblewig, I am now living on a little property that is, have expectations of doing an old gentleman.
I have my apprehensions, Mr. Formerville. Otherwise, I believe, Mr. Slap.
Slap, sir, was my father's name. Do not reproach me with the misfortunes of my ancestors.
I was about to say, Slap, otherwise Formerville, that I have a very strong belief that you have been for some time established in the begging letter writing business. And when a gentleman of that description drops a tear on my hand has a tendency to drop itself on his nose.
I don't understand you, sir.
I see you don't. Now, the danger is that I, Gabblewig, may take the profession of the law into my own hands and eject Slap, otherwise Formerville, from the nearest casement window, being at a height from the ground not exceeding 25 feet.
Sir, I perceive how it is. A vindictive old person of the name of Nightingale, who denounced me to the Mendicity Society, and who has pursued me in various ways, has prejudiced your mind somehow, publicly or privately, against an injured and calumniated victim. But let that nightingale beware, for if the nightingale is not a bird, though an old one, that I will catch yet once again with chaff, and clip the wings of two, I'm... Confound my temper, where's it running?
Oh. That's what brings him here. A trap for the nightingales. I may show the old fellow that I have some purpose in me after all. Those amateur dresses among my baggage, Lither's assistants? Done. Mr. Formerville?
Sir?
As I am not ambitious of the honour of your company, I shall leave you in the possession of this apartment. I believe that you are rather absent, are you not?
Sir, I am rather so.
Exactly. Then you will do me the favor to observe that the spoons and the forks of this establishment are the private property of the landlady.
And that man wallows in 800 a year, and half that sum would make my wife and children, if I had any, happy. But arise, black vengeance. Nightingale shall suffer doubly. Nightingale found me out, and when a man finds me out in imposing on him, I never forgive him. And when he don't find me out, I never leave off imposing on him. Those are my principles. What-ho! Wine here! Madam Landlady?
Coming directly, sir. My young man has gone below for it. Oh, more company. Mr. Nightingale, beyond a doubt. This way, sir, if you please. Your letter received, sir, and your rooms prepared.
Is that the malignant whom these eyes have never yet betasted with a look caitiff tremble?
Oh, that'll do, that'll do. Don't bother, sir. I'm nervous and I can't bear to be bothered. What I want is peace. Instead of peace, I've got what rhymes with it and is not at all like it.
Uncle, is it not enough that I am never to redeem those pledges which...
Oh, don't talk to me about redeeming pledges as if I was a pawnbroker. Oh!
Are you ill, sir?
Am I ever anything else, ma'am? Here, refer to diary. Rosina, save me the trouble of my glasses. See last Tuesday.
I see it, sir.
What's the afternoon entry?
New symptom. Crick in back. Sensation as if a stiff bootjack suddenly tried to be doubled up by strong person.
Oh!
Symptom repeated, sir?
Symptom repeated. I must put it down. Symptom repeated. Oh! Symptom repeated. Mrs. Lithers, I believe.
Oh, at your service, sir.
Mrs. Lithers, I am a nervous man and require peace. We had better come to an understanding. I am a water patient, but I'll pay for wine. You'll be so good as to call the pump sherry at lunch, port at dinner, and brandy and water at night. Now, be so good as to direct the chambermaid to show this discontented young lady her room.
Certainly, sir. This way, if you please, miss.
Oh!
What's the matter?
Oh, Uncle, I felt as if... Oh, don't be frightened, Uncle. As if something had touched me here so unexpectedly that I... Oh, don't be frightened, Uncle. That I almost dropped, Uncle.
Lord bless me. Bootjack and strong person contagious. Susan, a mouthful of ink. Symptom shortly afterwards repeated in Nice. Susan, you don't feel anything particular, do you?
Nothing whatever, sir.
You never do. You're the most aggravating young woman in the world.
No, sir. You wouldn't wish a party ill, I'm sure.
Ill? You are ill if you only knew it. If you're as intimate with your own interior as I am with mine, your hair would stand on end.
Well, then I'm very glad of my ignorance, sir, for I wish it to keep in curl. Now, Miss Rosina. Oh, there's something in the wind that's not the bootjack.
There's a man yonder eating his dinner as if he enjoyed it. I should say from his figure that he generally did enjoy his dinner. I wish I did. I wonder where there is anything would do me good. I've tried hot water and hot mud and hot vapor and have imbibed all sorts of springs from 0 to boiling and have gone completely through the pharmacopoeia. Yet I don't find myself a bit better. My diary is my only comfort. When I begin to book my symptoms and to refer back of an evening, then I begin to find out my true condition. Oh, what's that? That's a new symptom. Oh, Lord bless me. Sensation as if small train of gunpowder sprinkled from left hip to ankle and exploded by successful Guy Fawkes. I must book it once, or I shall be taken with something else before it's entered. Susan, another mouthful of ink. Oh, most extraordinary.
Well, what's this then? Diary. Remarkable passion for pills, quite a furor for doctors. Very unconjugal allusions to Mrs. Nightingale. Poor Maria, most valuable of sisters. To me an annuity, to your husband a tormentor. Shall I bleed him? Metaphorically, bleed him. Why not? He never regarded the claims of kindred. Why should I? He returns.
Bless my heart, I've left my diary somewhere. Oh, here's the precious volume. No doubt where I dropped it. If the stranger had opened it, what information he might have acquired. He might have found out by analogy things concerning himself that he little dreams of. He has no idea how ill he is, or how thin he ought to be.
Well, now then, for the foul in earnest. Where's that wine? Hello? Where is that wine?
Here you are, sir. What do I behold? Mr. Formerville, the eminent tragedian?
Who the devil are you? Keep off.
What? Don't you remember me, sir?
No, I don't indeed.
Not when I carry your banner with a silver dragon on it, when you played the Tartar Prince, and what's his name's? And when you used to bring the house down with that their point about revenge, you know.
What? Do you mean when I struck the attitude and said, recreant, the princess and revenge are both my own, she is the prisoner, tremble!
Oh, never, this is to decide. Oh, Lord bless me, what an actor you was. That's what I call a true tragic fire, when you strike out. Or the swords. Give me showers of sparks, and then I know what you're up to. Lord bless me, the way I've seen you perspire. I shall never see such an actor again.
I think you do remember me.
Think? What, don't you remember when you left Taunton without paying that washerwoman when she was...
You needn't proceed, it's quite clear you do remember me.
Oh, Lord bless your heart. Yes. What an actor you was. What a Romeo was. You know.
I believe there was something in me as Romeo.
And something of you too. Then the Montagues was a fine family when you was a lightest weight among them. And Lord bless my soul, what a Prince Henry you was. I see you drinking sack now, I do.
I beg your pardon, my friend. Is that my wine?
Oh, Lord bless me. What an actor. I seem to go into a trance when I think of it. I'll give you Formerville and the Dramer. Hooray.
At least he doesn't know that I was turned out and that I was company in disgrace. Now that's something. Are you the waiter here, my cool but discriminative acquaintance?
Well, I'm a sort of waiter and sort of half boots. I was with a travelling circus after I left you. The riders. Be in time. Now, Mr. Merriman. All in to begin. All that you know. But I shall never see acting no more. It went right out with you, bless you.
I'll pump him. Rule in life. Whenever no other work on hand, pump. I forget your name.
Bitt. Charlie Bitt. That's my real name. When I first went into the banners, I was Blitherington Fordbury, but they said it came so expensive in the printing that I left it off.
Much business done in this house?
Very flat.
It's old gentleman in Nanking trousers. Been here long?
Just come. What do you think I've heard? Supposed to be a bachelor. but got a wife.
No.
Yes.
Got a wife, eh? You're as sharp as a lancet. Yes, no doubt. Got a wife, yes.
Eh? A flash? The intense enjoyment of my friend suggests to me that old Nightingale hasn't got a wife, that he's free but doesn't know it. Fraud. Mum. I say you're a... But Lord bless me, what an actor you was.
You know, it's really touching his relapsing into that, but I can't indulge him, poor fellow. My time is precious. You were going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, you were up to a thing or two, and so... Oh, but Lord bless me alive. Oh, what a Richard III you was when you used to come to the sliding business, you know.
The child of nature positively has judgment. It was one of my effects. Calm yourself, my good fellow. And so you were observing.
Oh, and so I'll tell you. He hasn't really got a wife. She's dead. Oh, I'm right. He knows it. Mrs. Nightingale's as dead as a doornail.
Indeed. Some piece of cunning, I suppose? Buried somewhere, of course. Where? All safe. No proof? Take away.
Too sudden on my part. Formerville wins the first knockdown blow. Never mind, Gabblewin, up again, at it once more.
How does he know? He's in the market. Shall I buy him? No, not yet. Necessity not proved. With Nightingale here and my dramatic trunks upstairs, I'll strike at least another blow on the hot iron for myself before I think of taking a partner into the fort.
Susan! Susan!
Susan, indeed. Well, diffidence ain't the prevailing complaint at Malvern.
Don't you know me, Mr. Gabblewig?
Wig! Why, law, sir, when you're the bootjack. Now I understand, of course.
More than I do. I, the bootjack. Susan, listen. Did you know that Mr. Nightingale had been married?
Why, I never heard it exactly.
But you've seen it, perhaps? Had a peep into that eternal diary, eh?
Well, sir, to say the pious truth, I did read one day something or another about a wife. You see, he married a wife when he was very young.
Yes.
And she was the plague of his ever afterwards.
Oh, Rosina, can such things be? Yes, Susan, I think you are a native of Malvern?
Yes, sir. Leastways, I was so before I went to London.
You persuaded Mr. Nightingale to come down here in order that you might try the water cure? He might try the water cure?
La, sir.
And in order that you might see your relations?
La, sir, how did you know that?
Knowledge of human nature, Susan. Now, rub up your memory and tell me, did you ever know a Mrs. Nightingale who lived down here? Think. Your eyes brighten, you smile. You did know a Mrs. Nightingale who lived down here?
To be sure I did, sir. But that could never have been.
Your master's wife? I suspect she was. She died?
Yes, sir.
And was buried?
You know everything.
In...
Why, in Persia churchyard. My uncle was sexton there.
Uncle living?
90 years of age. With a trumpet.
That he plays on?
Plays on. No, he's with.
Good. Susan, make it your business to get a certificate of the old lady's death, and that within an hour.
Why, sir?
Susan, I suspect the old lady walks, and I intend to lay her ghost. You ask how?
No, sir, I didn't.
You've thought it. That you shall know by and by. Here comes the old bird. Fly. Whilst I reconnoitre the enemy.
Dear uncle, pray do nothing rash. You're in capital health at present, and who knows what the doctors may make of you.
Capital health? I've not known a day's health in these 20 years. January 6th, 1834. Pain in right thumb. Query, gout. Send for Blair's pills. Take 6. Can't sleep all night. Doze about 7. March 12th, 1839. Violent cough. Quiddy. Damp umbrella. Left by church mates in hall. Try lozenges. Bed at 6. Gruel. Tallow nose. Dream of general illumination. March 13th. Miserable. Cold always makes me miserable. Receive a letter from Mrs. Knighton.
What did you say, sir?
Have a nightmare, my dear. Nearly betrayed myself. You hear this and you talk about capital health to a sufferer like me. Oh, my spirits, my spirits. I wonder what water will do for them.
Why, reduce them, of course. Ah, my dear uncle, I often think that I am the cause of your disequities. I often think that I ought to marry.
Very kind of you indeed, my dear. Oh, all right, young man, I'd better begin. So you think that you really ought, my love, purely on my account, to marry a magpie, don't you? What are you about?
Oh, I beg your pardon, sir.
Yeah.
Gab, uncle, don't be frightened, but
Return a bootjack and strong person. I declare I'm taking all this water externally when I ought to.
Rash man, forbear. Drain that chalice, and your life's not worth a bodkin.
Dear me, sir, it's only water. I'm merely a pump patient.
Persevere, and 12 men of Malvern will sit upon you in less than a week, and without retiring will bring in a verdict of found drowned.
Have my cue. Follow me directly. I'll bring you another glass, sir, in a quarter of an hour.
Oh dear, a most debilitated pulse. A great want of coagulum, lymphatic to an alarming degree, stamina weak, decidedly weak.
Right, always was, sir. In 48, I think it was 48. Oh, yes, here it is. Dyspeptic. Feel as if the kitten at play with me. Try chalk and pea flour.
And grow worse?
Astonishing. I did, yes. Fever. Have head shaved.
And grow worse.
Amazing. So you read me like a book. As there appears to be no dry remedy for my unfortunate case, I thought I'd try a wet one. And here I am at the cold water.
Water, unless in combination with alcohol, is poison to you. You want blood. Now, in man, there are 2 kinds of blood. One in a vessel called a vein, hence venous blood, and the other in a vessel called artery, hence arterial blood. The one dark, the other bright. Now, sir, the crassamentum of your blood is injured by too much water. How shall we thicken it, sir? By mustard and milk.
Mustard and milk?
Mustard and milk, sir, exhibited with a balsam known only to myself. Rum. Single bottles, 1 guinea, a case of 12, 10 pounds.
Mustard and milk? Yeah, I don't think I ever tried. Oh yes, I recollect I once took 2 quarts of mustard seed fasting.
There, pish.
And you really advised me not to take the water?
Who says don't take water? Who says so?
Why, this gentleman, who is evidently a man of science.
Oh, eh dear, not take water. Look at us. Look at us, Mr. and Mrs. Poulter. 6 months ago, I never took water, did I, dear?
never.
Hated it. Always washed in gin and water and shaved with spirits of wine. Didn't I, dear?
Always.
Then what was I? What were we, I may say, my precious?
You may.
A flabby, dabby couple, like a pair of wet leather gloves. No energy, no muscle, no go-ahead. Now, you see what we are. Oh dear, 10 miles before breakfast, home, gallon of water, 10 miles more, gallon of water, a leg of mutton, 10 miles more, gallon of water. In fact, we're never quiet, are we, dear?
Never.
Walk in our sleep sometimes, can't walk enough. That's a fact, eh, dear?
Yes, dear.
Confound this fellow, he'll spoil all.
Will, sir, if you really could pull up for a few minutes, I should be extremely obliged to you.
Oh, here we are then. Don't keep us long. Don't keep us long. Say a minute chronometer time.
You must know I'm an invalid.
5 seconds.
Come down here to try the cold water cure.
10 seconds.
Dear me, sir, I wish you wouldn't keep counting the time in that way. It increases my nervousness.
Can't help it, sir. 20 seconds. Go on, sir.
Well, sir, this gentleman tells me that my cranary...
Crescimemton must not be made too sloppy.
and thereby he advises me, sir, to...
Well, 40 seconds, eh, dear?
Yes, dear.
I wish you wouldn't. And that he advises me to try mustard and milk, sir.
In combination with a rare balsam known only to myself. 1 guinea a bottle, case of 12 £10.
Yeah, time's up. My darling, mustard and milk, eh, dear? Don't we know a case of mustard and milk? Oh, Captain Blower, late 16 stone, now 10.5 stone, all mustard and milk.
Can anybody have tried it?
Don't be done. If I see Captain Blower, I'll send him to you. Can't stop longer. 10 miles and a gallon of water to go before dinner. Leg of mutton, a gallon at dinner. 5 miles and a wet sheet after dinner. Come, dear.
Ooh, a very remarkable couple. What do you think now, sir?
Think, sir? I think, sir, that any man who professes to walk 10 miles a day is a humbug, sir. I couldn't do it.
But then the lady...
Well, I grieve to say that I think she is a humbug, yes.
Ooh.
Those people, my dear sir, are sent about as cheerful examples of the effects of cold water, regularly paid to waylay newcomers.
Law, do you think so? Do you think there are people base enough to trade upon human infirmities?
Think so? I know it. There are men base enough to stand between you and perfect health. Who would persuade you that perpetual juvenility was dear at £1 a bottle and that green old age of 120 was not worth £10 to the case? That perambulating water cart is such a man.
Rich! What an escape I've had. My dear doctor, you are a doctor.
DD and MD and corresponding member of the Mendicity Society.
Mendicity?
Medical. Gods, what a slip.
Then I shall be happy to try a bottle to begin with.
1 bottle. I've confidence in your case, and you've none in mine. Well...
A case be it then, and I'll pay the money at once. Permit me to try a little mixture? It's not very agreeable. I'll make a note of my diary of my first sensations.
Rosina, quick, your arm. I tell you, Mrs. Trusty, I can't walk any further.
Now do try, sir. We are not a quarter of a mile from home.
A quarter of a mile? Why, that's a day's journey to a man in my condition.
Oh, dear, what shall I do?
You seem very ill, sir.
Very, sir. I'm a snuff, sir, a mere snuff flickering before I go out.
Oh, sir, pray don't die here. Try and get home and go out comfortably.
Did you ever hear such inhumanity? And yet this woman has lived on board wages at my expense for 30 years.
My dear sir, here's a very clever friend of mine who may be of service.
I fear not. I fear not. I've tried everything.
Perhaps not everything. Oh dear, pulse very debilitated, a great want of coagulum, lymphatic to an alarming degree, stamina weak, decidedly weak.
I don't want you to tell me that, sir.
A crassomemtum queer, very queer. No hope but in mustard and milk.
Mustard and milk!
Mustard and milk!
Oh,
Is this Captain Blower?
are you too a victim? Have you swallowed any of that man-slaughtering compound?
Only little, a very little.
Oh, how do you feel? Dimness of sight, feebleness of limbs?
Not at present.
Oh, but you will, sir, you will. You'd never think I once rivaled that person in rotundity.
Never.
But he'll never do it again. He'll never do it again.
You'd never think that Madame Tussaud wanted to mottle my leg and announce it as an extraordinary addition.
I certainly should not have thought it.
She might now put it in the Chamber of Horrors. Look at it.
It's nothing at all out of the flannel, sir.
All mustard and milk, sir. I'm nothing but mustard and milk.
Oh, you scoundrel! And to this state you would have reduced me.
This is some trick, sir, some cheat of the water doctors.
Why, you won't tell me that he's intended as a cheerful example of the effects of cold water?
I never said he was. He's one of the failures. But as two of the trade can never agree, I'll go somewhere else and spend your guinea.
What a brazen knave. Second knockdown blow to Gabblewig. Betting even. Anybody's babble. Gabblewig came up smiling and at him again.
My dear sir, what do I not owe you?
Oh, don't do that, sir. I shall tumble to pieces like a Fantoccini figure if you do. I am only hung together by threads.
But let me know the name of my preserver, that I may enter it in my diary.
Captain Blower R.N. I am happy to have rescued you from that quack. I declare the excitement has done me good. Rosie, Mrs. Trusty, I think I can walk now.
That's right, sir. Lean upon me.
What's the matter, Captain Blower?
That's the milk, sir. Oh,
Dear me, Captain Blower.
and that's the mustard.
Oh, really, this will be the most eventful day in my diary, except one. That day which consigned me to Mrs. Nightingale and 20 years of misery. I've not seen her for 19, though I have periodical reminders that she is still in the land of the living, in the shape of quarterly payments of £25 clear of income tax. Well, I'm used to it, and so that I never see her face again, I'm content. I'll go and find Rosina and tell her what has happened. Oh, quite an escape, I declare.
What a wicked world this is, to be sure. Everybody seems to be trying to do the best they can for themselves. And, what makes it worse, the complaint seems to be catching, for I'm sure I can't help telling Mr. Gabblewig what a traitor that Tip is. I hope Mr. Gabblewig won't come in my way and tempt me. Here he is, and I'm sure I shall fall.
Well, Susan, have you got the certificate?
No, sir, but my uncle has, and he'll be here directly. Oh, sir, if you knew what I've heard.
What?
I'm sure you'd give half a sovereign to hear. I'm sure you would.
I'm sure I would, and there's the money.
Well, sir, your man Tip's a traitor, sir, a conspirator, sir. I overheard him and another planning some deception. I couldn't quite make out what, but I know it's something to deceive Mr. Nightingale.
You'll find out with all speed what the scheme is about and let me know. Who's that mountain of petticoats? Slap, or I'm not Gabblewig.
And with him, Tip. Oh, I'm not Susan.
Another flash, I guess it all. Susan, your mistress will instruct you what to do. Vanish, sweet spirit.
I hope it's not gone out. I've a presentiment my good luck is deserting me, but before we do part company, I'll make a bold dash and secure something to carry on with both. Now, Mercury, befriend me.
Did you ring, ma'am?
Yes, young woman. I wish to speak with a Mr. Nightingale, the elderly gent who arrived this morning.
What name, ma'am?
Name's no consequence. Say I come from Mariah.
Mariah.
Mariah, a mutual friend of mine and Mr. Nightingale's, and he ought not to be ashamed of.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Mr. Gabblewig's right. Phew.
Mariah's been dead these 12 years, during which time my victim has paid her allowance with commendable regularity to me, her only surviving brother. I thought that name was irresistible, and there he is. Oh, trepidation is cheering. He'll bleed freely. What a lamb it is. Your servant, sir!
Now, don't lose a moment. Say you come from Maria. What Maria?
You're Maria?
I'm sorry to acknowledge the responsibility.
Oh, sir, that poor creature's much changed, sir.
For the worse, of course.
Oh, I'm afraid so. No gin now, sir.
Then it's brandy.
Lives on it, sir. Breaks more windows than ever. She's heard that you've come down here.
So I suppose by this visit.
She lives about a mile from Malvern.
What? I thought she was down in Yorkshire.
Was and is two different things. She wanted for to come and see you.
If she does, I'll stop her allowance.
Oh, and have a call every day. Mariah's my friend, but I know wouldn't be pleasant. She'd a proposal to make. So Mariah says, I'll see your lawful husband, as you is, sir, and propose for you.
I'll listen to nothing.
Well, not if it puts the sad sea waves between you and Mariah forever.
Eh?
You know, she'd a brother, an excellent young man who went to America 10 years ago.
I know. 16th of May, 1841, sent £50 to Mrs. N's vagabond brother going to America. Query, to the devil?
He's written to Mariah to say that if you'll give her 200 quid, she'll come out and he'll take care of her forever.
Done. It's a bargain.
He bites. And her son for 100 quid more.
What son?
Sir, you don't know your blessings. Shortly after you and Mariah separated, a son was born. But Mariah, to revenge herself, which was wrong, oh, it was wrong in her, that was, never let you know it, but sent him to the workers as a foundling, and she'd received in a basket.
I don't believe a word of it.
Oh, she said you wouldn't, but seeing is believing, so I brought the innocent along with me. I got the pretty here.
Here, in your pocket?
Now, at the door.
At the door?
Come in, Christopher. Named for you, sir, for despite of Mariah's feelings, you divided her heart with old Tom.
Oh, nonsense.
Christopher, hold your paw. What are you standing there for like an 8 o'clock or an idol as if Paws was found every day?
Don't you make me nervous? Is that my paw?
Yes, child. Me, who took you from the mouth, can vouch for it.
Oh,
Keep
paw!
off, you young yellowhammer, or I'll knock you down. Harkin, if you can assure me of the departure of your friend and this cub, I will give you the money. For 20 years I've been haunted by this.
Oh, which the blessed innocent has been inveigled of and man-trap and leastways boy-trap, and never no more will I leave this house till I find a parent's hope, a mother's pride, and nobody's, as I'm aware of, joy.
What on earth is this? How's a mother's pride and nobody's joy? You don't mean to say you are?
I'm an orphan! What are you talking about, you old bedlam?
Oh, my hope, my pride, my son.
Your son!
If you don't own me for your mother, you villain, on the spot, I'll break every bone in your skin and have your skin prepared afterwards by the Bermondsey tanners.
My master, my mother.
Are you mad? Am I mad? We're all mad. Didn't you tell me that whatever I said?
You said, what is your voice to the voice of nature?
Nature. Oh, you unnatural monster! Who see your first tooth told on a deceitful word? Who watched you running alone in a go-kart and tipping over your precious head upon the paving stones in the confidence of childhood? Who gave you medicine that reduced you when you were sick and made you so when you wasn't?
Oh, me!
Yeah, you, man!
Me, ma'am, as is well be known to all the country round, which the name of this sweetest of babbies, as will give his own joyful self when blessed in best Whitechapel mixed by a pincushion, and his mother saved likewise, was Absalom, after his own parental father was never otherwise than through being bad in liquor, lost a day's work in the wheelwright business, which is and was but limited, Mr. Nightingale, being wheels of donkey chaise and goats, and one was even drawn by geese for a wager, and went right into the centre of the aisle of the parish church on a Sunday morning on account of the obstinacy of animals, as can be certified by Mr. Wiggs the beadle, afore he died, of drawing on his Wellington boots, to which he was not accustomed after a hearty meal of beef and wallets, to which he was too partial. And in the marble fountain of that church, this preciousest of infants was made Absalom, which never can be unmade no more, I am proud to say, to please nor give offence to no one, nor wheres no hows.
Would you forswear your blessed mother Maria Nightingale, lawful wedded wife of this excellent old gent? Why don't the voice of nature claim its bar?
Oh, don't make me a consideration on any account.
Maria Nightingale, which a fiction sore long time she bore.
And so did I.
Oh, physicians was in vain, which she was never had no particular, as I knows of, except in one which she tore his hair out by handfuls out of the consequence of differences of opinion relative to her complaint. But it was written on her tombstone 10 year and more ago, and dead she is as the host of Egyptian fairies.
Dead? Prove it, and I'll give you £50.
Prove it! I defy her! I'm done.
Prove it, which I can and will directly minute by my brothers the sexton, as I will produce in the twinkling of a star or a human eye. From this period of the contest, Gabberwig had it on his own way, and went in and won. No money was laid out for any price on Formerville. 50 to 1 on Gabberwig, freely offered, no takers.
I don't like this, and so exit slap.
No, ma'am, you don't leave this place till this mystery is cleared up.
Unhand me, monster! I claims my habeas corpus! As for you, traitor, although I'm not pugnacious, I'll give you a lesson in the art of self-defense you shall remember as long as you live.
You? The bottle imp has been my ruin? Reduce yourself to my weight and I'll fight you for £1.
I'll soon satisfy this gentleman.
Then I'm done, very much done. I see nothing before me but premature incarceration and an old age of gruel.
Oh, he's very old. My invaluable centenarian, will you allow me to...
I don't hear.
He's very deaf. Will you allow me to inquire?
It's no use whispering to me, sir. I'm very hard of hearing.
Oh, it's very provoking. Whether you ever buried...
Brood? Oh, yes, sir, I brood. That is, me and my wife, as has been dead and gone 40 year next hop picking. My wife was a Kentish woman. We brewed, especially one year, the strongest brew you ever drunk. It was called, in our country, Samson with his hair on, allowed into its great strength, you understand. And my wife, she used to say one time...
Buried, not brewed.
Buried. Oh, yes, buried a many. They were strong too once.
Did you ever bury a Mrs. Nightingale?
Ever bury a nightingale? No, only Christians.
Mrs. Nightingale.
Oh, yes, buried her. Rather a fine woman. Married, as the folks told me, an uncommon ugly man. Yes, used to live here. Here is a certificate of her burial. I got this for my sister. Oh, yes, buried her. I thought you meant a nightingale.
My dear friend, here's a guinea, and it's cheap for the money.
Oh, thank ye, sir, thank ye. Formerville, heavily grassed, and 10,000 to 1 on Gabberwig.
You inexpressible swindler. If you were not a woman, I'd have you ducked in the horse pond.
Oh, sir, do it. He deserves it.
He?
Yes, sir. She's a he. He deluded me with a glass of rum and water and the promise of a £5 note.
You scoundrel.
Sir, you're welcome to your own opinion. I'm not the first man who has failed in a great endeavour. Napoleon had his Waterloo, Slap has his Malvern. Henceforth I am nobody. The eagle retires to his rock.
You'd better stop there. Be content with plain slap, discard counterfeit Formerville, and we'll do something for you.
Mr. Gabberwig.
Charlie Bit, Mr. Poulter, Captain Blower, respectable female, and deaf sexton, all equally at anybody's service.
What do I hear?
Me.
What do I see?
Me. Dear uncle, you would have been imposed upon and plundered and made even worse than you ever made yourself but for.
Me. My dear Mr. Nightingale, you did think I could do nothing but talk. If you now think I can act a little, let me come out in a new character. Will you?
Will I? Take her, Mr. Gabblewig. Stop, though. Ought I to give away what has made me so unhappy? Memorandum. Mrs. Nightingale. See diary.
Stop, sir. Don't look. Burn that book and be happy. Ask your doctor. What do you say? Mustard and milk?
I say, sir, try me, and when you find me not worth a trial, don't try me anymore. As to that gentleman's destroying his diary, sir, my opinion is that he might perhaps refer to it once again.
Shall he refer to it once more? Well, I think you may.
And Kurt. I chose Dickens to end the program tonight because Dickens loved Christmas, and he wrote, of course, one of the most beloved stories of the Christmas season. I'm going to give a little quote from that to close tonight. Scrooge was better than his word, and to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew. And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas, if anyone alive possessed that knowledge. May that be truly said of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim said, God bless us, everyone. I hope you all have a lovely, wonderful Christmas and a very happy and safe New Year from the Shaw Project. Thank you. Ah, folks, that was a crazy but fun.
I think I've been waiting 50 years to use that voice on stage.
I've been waiting for a chance to do it too. I always wanted to be a dame in a Christmas pantomime.
Oh,
but I'll never get the chance, obviously. So what can I tell you?
Oh.
One never knows. Don't say never.
Never knows.
That's true. That's true. You never know. Oh,
Thank
okay.
you all, everyone. I actually have to run to drive out to Staten Island. Don't I?
Yes.
Seeing
Good
Dave.
night, everybody.
Are you seeing David?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
He said something about having a proposal for me that he'd tell me about later. Do you know anything? What he means? What he's talking about?
No, I'm just going out to go with him to the hip doctor.
Okay.
Tell him
Good
hello
night.
for me.
Will do. Good night,
Yeah,
everyone.
take care.
Bye.
Ah. Ooh. Thank you so much for joining us, Leah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was fun.
You'll be joining us again, I hope, if I have anything to say about it.
Well, my email inbox is always open. It was a delight.
Ah,
You've been inaugurated into the shenanigans.
yes. I have.
These were extremely silly shenanigans.
Yeah, very silly.
Some are sillier
Type
than
of
others.
shenanigans.
I'm still thinking I'm going to postpone Pygmalion and probably do Shaw in Russia next month.
Sure, in Russia.
Yeah, his play Great Catherine, which is a long one act,
Yeah, yeah.
and another piece called Anna Yanska, the Bolshevik Empress.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's a
Hmm.
one act. It's another one. It's a one act, whereas the Great Catherine, I guess, could be called a short two act. I
Hmm.
guess.
The one thing I miss about doing these in persons is having our interstitial music.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a little too hard to do under these circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to decide what I want to do. I'm going to try to do one for my birthday again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't. I think
Will
I
it be
have
in
a
person?
rehearsal. I think I have a rehearsal on my birthday with
Hmm.
Alice, but maybe something on that weekend after.
Yeah.
And then we'll figure out from there. It's going to get a little more complicated once we start rehearsals, which I'm hoping nothing happens to louse up. Alice has said we're going to wear masks for all the rehearsals.
Yeah.
And only take them off for the performances.
Yeah. Stephen was saying he saw a concert entirely masked today.
Yeah.
And that the whole thing sounded flat. Like all of the voices sounded like they were all together like a little bit. Because they're literally resonance just stopping right here, and then whatever is long enough, which is this other longer reverb, gets through.
Yeah, we're going to be singing our Christmas services with masks on, which I hate. It's going to be, we were rehearsing one of them today, and it felt so weird. And on top of which, with my hearing problem, even with my hearing aids in, I couldn't understand what the choir director was saying a lot of the time.
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah.
I mean, it's a problem.
It's hard.
So, I mean, normally I think I do a little lip reading too, but I mean, my hearing aids usually work quite well, but. So, I mean, it'll be all right because it's all stuff we've done before. I just had to get it back in my brain and figure out what adjustments she's making and so on. So.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm tired.
I bet you.
You are.
I gave you a real workout tonight. I know it was good.
Yeah. It was fun though.
Yeah. We won't be doing another one like this for quite a while, I don't think. But,
Well, I think you certainly get the award for more characters than anybody in one single reading.
Oh, possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
I have.
Well, I know Ben's had some doozies like this too.
Yeah, he had some good stuff with his various disguises as well. So yeah, these are fun plays. I'm sure they work much better on stage, but
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out how Shaw worked the lightning trick on stage.
I don't know.
Do you mean that it's striking them?
Striking everybody,
Yeah, that makes me think it was not meant to be performed, though. It was meant to be just read.
Maybe.
I don't know. I have to see if I can find out more about it. But usually Shaw.
Maybe there were, guys in the wings with flashlights or something.
There was probably. I mean, they had effects by the time he wrote that. So.
It's also possible they had small pyrotechnics on each one of them. That actually is something they could have a little
pop. That could be a little dangerous if it goes wrong, though. But,
but they had fire on stage all the time.
He probably wrote this piece for a special occasion.
Yeah, because
a lot of his little silly pieces were done for special situations, so it may not have been informed very much at all.
Yeah.
It's just like Fascinating the Foundling was written for a special occasion.
Yeah. Another tomfoolery.
Yeah, tomfooleries. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little bits and pieces of scenes that he wrote for various occasions but we did an evening of that stuff after we finished everything else of Shaw's, which we never finished because there's so much of it we couldn't get through it all. But
yeah, I mean, even his collected works are like 8 volumes, but excellent job, everyone. Thank you so much. It's so much. They really are sort of actually designed so much, well, really dependent on like having performers who can really do them and do them well. So thank you all very much.
And the Dickens, they're all done in theaters. It was certainly as both of those plays closed. I mean, not the Shaw, but the other two. What always happened in Victorian comic pieces like that was the main actor would step down to the audience and say something which was actually designed to encourage the applause. But it was about, with the Nightingale one, it was like, will you do it again? Yes, I think you may, meaning we'll have another performance.
Yeah, it says in the dramatis personae for this that Charles Dickens played Gabblewig and Wilkie Collins played Slap.
Yeah,
that
I don't know how many performances there were of it ever, but the other piece was a definite theater piece that was done. I don't know how many times, but the Morton one, it's meant to be done because usually the Victorian evenings of theater were the Victorians, when they went to the theater, they wanted value for their money. So there'd be a main piece, there'd be a four-piece, there'd be an after piece, at least three things. And then maybe a little ballet or who knows what in the middle of all that.
And now we're like 90 minutes, no intermission, and lessons to sell drinks.
Yeah. I'm going to try to go to Ben's concert on Friday, so we'll see what. It's not Haydn's The Creation, it's the Creation Mass, thank goodness. Because Haydn's The Creation goes on forever, but the Creation Mass will be, half an hour, 45 minutes, and then there's another piece.
All right, I'm going to say good night, guys, because
good night. Thanks so much.
So
great
Good
work.
night,
Good night, everyone.
Thank
I
you,
need to run
everybody.
as well.
I'm running also. Thank you, guys.
Thank you
care,
all so
everybody.
much.
Bye,
Thanks for reading out,
everybody.
David.
Bye.
Good night, all.
I gotta go too and feed myself. So thanks again, everybody.
Good night, David. Good night,
Take
Paul.
care. Take care.